hand emoji or to type their question in the chat box, and we can put forward the questions to the speaker at the end of the session. But of course, because there will be many interesting insights coming from our speaker, who will be with us from Manipal Hospitals, Salt Lake. So now I know some of the parents have already joined with us. Some of the parents are still joining. They are connecting. I can see one by one of them are joining. So while the parents are joining, I would really like to say that today's topic is going to be an interesting one, particularly for the parents, and might be equally interesting for the students or the children who have joined with us also. So for parents, it would be interesting because they would be getting many insights into the parenting secrets that they can, the parenting techniques that they can practice at their home, back at their home. And so this brings us to today's topic, which is secrets to raise a happy and healthy child, best health and mental well-being practices as a family. So you can see that the topic of today's webinar not only focuses on particularly on parents, particularly on children, but taking both of them together as a family. How can they ensure mentally happy and a physically healthy lifestyle, and or a mentally happy home where everyone is also physically healthy? So we will be continuing with our today's session with psychologist Smaranika Tripathi from Salt Lake Hospital, from Manipal Hospital, Salt Lake, who will be joining us in some time. So, what we think about today's session is that we look forward to the participation from the parents, of course, since we will be having the question answer session at the end. So we know that parents will be having certain questions which they would be asking to the speaker, and also we look forward in today's session that the parents will be getting certain insights about how to raise a happy and a healthy child, a child who is not only physically healthy but also mentally happy. And we hope that this the secrets and the techniques and the tips that we will be getting from our speaker today, Smaranika ma'am, those will be helpful for all the parents who will be joining into this session. Of course, and one thing that we believe is, the happy homes consist of happy families, and happy families are largely the responsibility of the happy parents. And hence, we will be focusing on today's session with the secrets to raise a happy and healthy child, the best health and mental well-being practices as a family. So we will be continuing with it. I'll take a small break of 2 minutes, and I'll be back with the speaker and also about an information about our school. So just be with us for 2 minutes.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Yeah, so I'm back on behalf of Adama Schools, and parents who have just joined with us. I would request everyone to keep their audio on mute because we will be starting with today's session, and also to keep their videos off, because in case there is any internet issues, if your video is off, you will not have any trouble in keeping yourself connected with us on this webinar. At the end of the webinar session, we will be having a question answer round where the parents or the students, if they feel, they can ask questions to our today's speaker. And of course, in order to ask your question, we would request every parent or every student who would be interested in asking questions to either use the raise hand emoji or to type their questions in the chat box, and we will be putting it forward to our speaker of today. So our speaker would be today from Manipal Hospitals, Salt Lake, and her name is Smaranika Tripathi. She's one of the famous psychologists in Kolkata, and today she will be speaking on secrets to raise a happy and healthy child, best health and best health and mental well-being practices as a family. So you can understand that the insights will consist not only for parents but also for the children who will be joining today with us. Now, before Smaranika Tripathi will be joining with us and will be taking us, into this forward in this session, I would take some
Hello.
time.
Yes,
Yes, sir. I
yes,
would just.
I'm from Manipal Hospital. So, ma'am will be joining. Is the audio?
Absolutely, the audio is clear, and I believe when ma'am joins in, every parent
Yes,
can.
ma'am will join in just 1 minute. Okay.
Sure. And before ma'am will be joining with us, Maranika ma'am will be joining with us into this session on secrets to raise a happy and healthy child, best health and mental well-being practices as a family. Well, Maranika ma'am has joined us. And hello, ma'am. Welcome once again. Hope you are doing really good.
I'm really doing good. Thank you so much. And how are you doing?
Yes, we are also doing great. And I believe all the parents who have joined us are also doing great. So, ma'am, I would just like to take 5 minutes before you start with today's session. I would just quickly take the parents through the details of our school, that is Adamus Schools. I'll just quickly run through our school's information PPT. And I believe that the screen is visible. Yeah. So, Adamus Schools consists of Adamus International and Adamus World School, as everyone knows. And we have a legacy of 18 years for Adamus International and a success story of 11 years for Adamus World School. Now, both of our schools are a part of the RISE Education, which was founded in 1985 under the leadership of Mr. Samit Ray. And for last, I believe more than 30 years, we have been providing quality training and education to the young minds of India. RISE Education is located in Belghoria and has been, witness to a network of over 15 centers across West Bengal. And now RISE is not only providing education for the competitive exams, but also in school examination, in terms of school, which is Adamus International and World School. And also we have our own university. Now, there might be questions why parents are selecting Adamus. Well, it is specifically because of certain points which I would like to highlight, which consists of the settings. Both of our schools are located in a green and spacious campus where the children can participate in different activities and learn and grow holistically. Well, a special mention to our faculty who are well versed, and we also maintain a healthy teacher-student ratio in order to ensure that the children understand the best of the education, and they are provided technically advanced methodologies of teaching. Well, the architecture of both the buildings of the schools, then there are numerous activities where the children can learn and grow. There's transportation facility available all across the city in order that the children do not face any kind of problem while commuting to school. And of course, the academic facilities that are provided in terms of smart classes, libraries, labs, audiovisual rooms, and then the meals that are provided and to the children and are planned in a specific way. So, to mention a few lines about. Well, I would just there's someone's audio is on. Atish Shah, I would just request to put your audio off. Yeah, thank you. So, mentioning a few lines about Adamus International School, it is located at Belghoria and affiliated to ICSE and IGSE. And it is located in a campus which is approximately 6 acres in land. We provide more than 18 extracurricular activities to our children, and also the students can take part in various community services in terms of student engagement. Now, just telling a few lines about IGSE. It is one of the most widely accepted certificates of schooling across universities across the globe. So anyone who is seeking higher education in the future in the foreign countries can go for IGSE. Our principal is Mrs. Mitra Sinha Roy, who is a prominent face in the education sector and has won many awards as the principal of Adamus International. In terms of the highlights about the school, in terms of infrastructure, we can mention our campus, the CCTV surveillance facilities, the medical center, where there is a provision for the children to be supervised by doctors and nurses. There is splash pool for the children, younger children, playground, auditorium with a capacity of 750 plus seating provisions, various sports activities, and of course, transportation. In terms of curricular, we provide the best student-teacher ratio, the healthy one that can ensure the best understanding and development among children, and also the practical learning methodologies that are followed in our school. In terms of extracurricular, of course, as I mentioned, there are 18 plus extracurricular activities, and our children are making name in every field. We also take care of the meals and the etiquettes of the children at the school, and special days and programs are organized for the holistical development of the children. To mention about the board results, this year we have done marvelous in both in ICSE and ISC, and many of our students who have scored highest marks in the states have got letters of congratulations from the CMO. I would just request everyone to put their sound on mute. And going forward, of course, as I mentioned, the school has continued this year as well to win medals in terms of extracurricular activities and faculty programs. Coming to the Adamus World School, I would mention that Adamus World School was established in the year 2011, and it is affiliated with CBSE and located in Barasat. CBSE is particularly helpful for parents who have jobs that require transfer from one place to another. Our principal is Mr. Govind S. Murjani at Adamus World School. He is a famous name and a famous face in the education sector and has been the principal of several schools across states in India. Coming to the infrastructure of the school, well, to mention the campus, the CCTV surveillance, the medical center, playground, sports, and transportation facilities at the school. In terms of curricular facilities, again, even at Adamus World School, we provide a healthy teacher-student ratio and the practical methods of learning under the CBSE curriculum. In terms of the extracurricular, there are several activities that the children can participate and learn from. And of course, just like Adamus International School, Adamus World School also organizes special days and programs for the children to help to develop and grow. This year, CBSE 12 and 10 has been marvelous for Adamus World School. Most of the children have scored huge marks. Many of them have scored above 90, almost 100. And this year has been marvelous for Adamus World School in terms of both board results. In terms of achievements and awards, of course, Adamus School have continued to win awards and achievements even in this year, just like last year. And of course, we take care of the safety. We believe in first aid, we believe in food safety, and we believe in fire safety for all the children at the school. In case of any inquiries, the numbers and the links of our website and admission inquiry is in the screen. One can also follow us on social media of Adamus World School and Adamus International School. So this brings us to the end of this PPT about the school. I would again request all the parents who have joined to put their sound on mute and their cameras and the video off so that they can continue to continue with this webinar. And with this, I would request Maranika ma'am to take over from me and continue with today's session, which is Secrets to Raise a Happy and Healthy Child, Best Health and Mental Wellbeing Practices as a Family. So Smaranika ma'am, over to you, please.
So very good afternoon to all. Am I audible to everyone, I guess?
Absolutely, ma'am. Perfectly
Yes.
audible.
So very good afternoon to all the beautiful family members of the Adamus School. And I'm so glad to be back again with you people. I'm sure whatever we have spoken in the last webinar, though it was all about handling COVID, and after all, the position we hold in our lives personally is being a parent, and that's going to be always there with us till the end of our life, isn't it? So I always take this pleasure and opportunity when I talk about children. I feel good about it that I am a part of this world wherein I am blessed with a child and I am promoted to be a mother. So I think that's enough to describe how beautiful life can be. Today we are definitely going to talk about the secrets. I'll just share the PPT in the screen for all of you so that it is convenient for all of you to understand. You just have to give me 2 minutes so that I'll get it done. Where it is. So I'm sure now people can see the PPT slide we have already projected in the screen. Is it visible to everyone?
The screen is not visible, ma'am. Like the PPT screen is not visible.
No, it's not visible, ma'am. Still, it's not visible.
So as Smaranika ma'am will be sharing the PPT in some time, I see the parents are joining, and as they are joining, I would just request them to keep the audio on mute and the videos off. At the end of the session, we will be having a question answer session for when you can write the questions in the chat box, and we will be putting it forward to Smaranika ma'am to answer. So ma'am, over to you. The screen is visible now.
Yeah. So they told me that I have to speak something which is a secret about raising a happy child. There's always a secret of loving someone, isn't it? There is always few secrets we keep in ourselves when we make relationship or break it, right? So I think if you see in every life of ours, all of us being children, we definitely have certain things, certain events, incidences, people, places which have contributed to what we are today. So I think the first point which I would like to raise when I'm talking about bringing up healthy, beautiful, loving, peaceful, and happy children are to become happy parents ourselves. Why I said happy parents is off late. I was attending to one of the child in my clinic, and I asked that কি প্রবলেম হয়েছে, মা কি এখন তোকে কিছু বলছে, এখন কি চেঁচায়, কেন কি মা বাবা বলছিল দ্যাট তুই নাকি কথা বলিস না ওদের সাথে? This child replied to me saying কি আমি জানি না কি করব, যখন আমি কথা বলতে যাই তখন মা বলে এখন কাছে একদম আসিস না, আমার মাথাটা গরম। Hello.
Ma'am, Smaranika ma'am, your voice just got disconnected, I believe.
Yeah, I think I was muted suddenly.
Yeah. I think there's maybe some.
Yeah. So no problem. So I was actually sharing a small incident where the sound is.
Yeah, ma'am. Can you? Is my voice audible, Smaranika ma'am? Yeah, please, ma'am. Continue. I think some network distortion is there.
Yeah. So and then this child was telling me that I just asked her, are you spending time with your ma baba? ওদের সাথে কথা বলিস এখন? তোকে আগেবার বলেছিলাম। She just told me আমি জানি না কখন কথা বলবো, এই যে আমি এখন কথা বলতে গেলাম হঠাৎ করে মা বলছে এখন আসিস না একদম, আমার মাথা গরম আছে, এবার তোকে কিছু বলে ফেলবো। আর যখন আমি কথা বলি না তখন বলে তুই কেন আমার সাথে কথা বলছিস না, যখন আমি বসে নিজের একটা কাজ করছি তখন মা এসে বলবে কোনোদিন আমার সাথে একটু কথা বলার টাইম হচ্ছে না। Basically the problem is what I understood, if you are yourself a disturbed mother or a disturbed parent, an anxious parent or a depressed parent, there is all possibility your children will also feel that they are into a very depressive environment. আমরা সবসময় জিজ্ঞেস করি how is the environment around? Let me tell you parents, it is not the child itself or child himself or herself who can make a better future for himself or herself, or who can become happy by themselves. No, it's not. It is always the environment around which contributes to the happiness, well-being, especially the psychological aspect of someone's personality. Just imagine if I am a very peaceful person and I am a very lovable person, howsoever, environment next to me is always tensed. মানে আমার বাড়িতে নীতিদিন একটা প্রত্যেক দিন একটা ঝগড়াঝাটি হয়, কে কার সাথে কথা বলে না, একসাথে বসে খাবার দাবার করে না, একসাথে বসে টিভি দেখে না. Imagine what am I developing? I see an environment which does not promote a healthy relationship. আমি কোনোদিন বাবাকে হাসতে দেখি না, আমি মাকে প্রত্যেকবারই কথা বলতে দেখি কিন্তু ও কান্নাকাটি করে. যখনই মা নিজের সম্বন্ধে কথা বলে তখন বলে অত কাজ কি করে করব, আমি তো জীবনে কিছু করতে পারলাম না, একটু হতাশ দেখি. I see hopelessness in my family. But naturally, the children will learn to suppress their feelings. One, for the fact that they will feel that life is all about suffering. Number two, they will feel, how do I say that I have a good news to share? Because everyone is unhappy. এরকম অনেকবার হয়েছে, হয়তো your child has come back with golden marks, beautiful results in the exams, but বাড়ি এসে ঢুকেই দেখে বাবা মার মধ্যে একটা ঝগড়া চলছে, অথবা কোনো একটা জিনিস নিয়ে বাবা অনেক ব্যস্ত হয়ে গেছে, মা অনেক ব্যস্ত হয়ে গেছে. They do not have time to contribute to the success of the child. So I think before getting into a child's life, where the child, you want your child to be happy, confident, positive, courageous, kind, we have to practice that ourselves. I have seen many parents. I'll give you a very small example. Kichudin age, I was seeing a child of, I think class 9. What time do you wake up? ও আমাকে খুব কনফিডেন্টলি বললো 9টা. ওর মা বললো না, ও ঝুট বল रहा है, वो 11 बजे उठता है. And then while talking and understanding the family dynamics, আমি বুঝতে পারলাম ফট করে মানে ওনার বাচ্চাটা রিপ্লাই করলো, हमको बोल रही हो 11 बजे उठता है, तुम तो खुद 2 बजे तक सोती हो. The problem is whatever we want to project or whatever we want our children to learn, probably we have to go through that path first. Sometimes we set very unrealistic goals, যেটা আমরা নিজে কোনোদিন করতে পারি না. We miss out on the small achievements of our children. We miss out on talking to them on a daily basis. আমরা কখন কথা বলি? যখন এক্সামে খারাপ হচ্ছে, অথবা পরীক্ষার আগে পড়াশোনা করছে না, অথবা বেশি টাইম ফোন ধরে বসে আছে. In general, we probably do not encourage a lot of talking at home, which is very, very important, which we need to do. So when you say that I'm a parent, you should look like a parent who is very confident. You should behave like a parent who can always see the positive aspect of life. Then only there is going to be a transfer of emotional aspect or the psychological condition of a parent to a child, and eventually you will see your child becoming more positive, more energetic, always smiling and confident in their life. It is very important to get happy yourselves first. Teach them to build relationship, very important. এখনকার বাচ্চারা রিলেশনশিপ বিল্ডই করতে চায় না. আমরা ওদের জন্য কি বলে একটা রেস্ট্রিকশন, একটা ক্রাইটেরিয়া সেট করি, এই এর সাথে কথা বলবি না, এই ওই মেয়েটা ভালো না, ওর সাথে কথা বলবি না. So the problem is when you do not encourage children to, or when you set rules for your children to make relationship, they themselves become very confused. কখন আমরা বলি do not talk to strangers. However, sometimes we also tell them, তুই কেন এই আঙ্কেলটাকে দেখে কিছু বললি না? The child has visited your friend's house for the first time. So, but naturally it is, for him, the family is a stranger family. But we say that don't talk to the stranger. On the other hand, আমরা বলি, এই সবাইকে hello কেন বললি না? किसी के साथ बात क्यों नहीं किया तुमने? Because they don't know. I think it's very important that we help them develop good and healthy relationship. Please avoid setting up criteria. Student who are very good academically, they can only become your friend. না না, এই বন্ধুটা বেশি বেশি টাইম ফোনে কথা বলে, ওর সাথে বন্ধুত্ব করবি না। If you really want your children to grow and understand what life is all about, probably we have to give them a diversified world. We have to expose them to the world wherein there would be some good factors, there would be some bad factors, there would be some factors which needs to be taken care of. When I say that there could be some bad factors, expose and make them alert. Give them the free world and also teach them the ability to choose. So probably আমরা যেটা করতে পারি, we can set up guidelines for a better choice. But exposing the child to the brighter world is very, very important. Now, if I have to say that building relationship more empathetically, with more care and love, we can always demonstrate that by doing it ourselves. I'll probably give you an example. When I was a child, I have seen my parent, my father always informing my mother about his whereabouts. I mean, in the morning, if he'll go, he'll say, Ami aschi. Before coming back from the office, he'll call up and say, hey, phirchi 5 minute. There were a lot of information sharing which was happening. He would gauge the tension in my mother's face, and he would say, looks like you are very tired today. Why don't you go and sleep? He would probably tell, can I just take 1 minute break, please? I have a very important call to attend.
So ma'am will be just back with us, and I see some parents have joined while Smaranika ma'am was, talking about building relationship with the children.
Sorry, I just had to take a call.
Yeah,
I'm
so-
back.
Yeah, so ma'am is back. Yeah, ma'am, please continue.
So when I'm talking about building empathy or building a relationship, so I have seen that, reading a face through expressions. I'm sure our children read our faces very well. So if you do the same when you are reading your child's face, that he's upset for not getting or getting up to your, living up to your expectation, or he's worried about his poor percentage, or he's worried about his relationship with his friends, or not having a girlfriend in his life, or not having a best friend in his life, I think it's very important we reciprocate to the feeling, then just jumping into the conclusion. So if you teach them to be empathetic, if you model that behavior in them, you would see children actually become like that. They actually become more conscious about their emotions. They learn to become more kind to others. So a small example, or a simplest example of being kind, is asking a glass of water to your maid, or serving a cup of tea to your maid when she is tired and tired by serving you. It teaches them that every class or in the society needs to be respected. Every person in the society.
Ma'am, just a moment. Ma'am. I would just request parents who have joined, please keep on mute. It creates disturbance for the other parents. Yeah, ma'am, you can continue, ma'am. Please continue. Smaranika ma'am, are you with us? Okay, I think Smarnika ma'am is facing some internet issue. So she will be back with us. I would request the parents to be patient for a moment while she's joining back with us. And continuing with today's topic, which is secrets to raising a happy child. And she will be just starting in a moment. Yeah, so ma'am is back with us.
Yeah. So there was some technical hitches, I guess. So I'm back again. Hello.
Yeah, ma'am, you're audible as well as your screen is visible, ma'am. Ma'am, please
Yes,
continue.
yes. There were some lines which were coming on the screen, and we were thinking from where it is coming. So, anyway,
Possibly
a very,
some-
very small act of kindness would be observing one day in a month wherein you can do a small act of kindness for someone. It could be your own friend, it could be your mother, it could be your parent, I mean your father, or your driver, your best friend, your neighbor. A small act of kindness. I think we can make a rule like that, that every month in a particular day, there is going to be a small act of kindness which would be encouraged by each family member in the family, and that would be shared in the evening, that what you have done. Because I remember when I was attached to a school as a school counselor, we definitely did an act of kindness wherein you won't imagine standard 6 and 7, they took the advantage of the long break and they skipped their meal that day, and they actually went around to clean the corridors along with the NIS staff and helped them, and they all were awarded in the assembly as the champions of kindness. So this is something which can be done, which is an excellent exercise to model what kindness and empathy can be. When I go to the next slide, it talks about developing an interesting skill. I consciously and very importantly, I added this particular slide to my presentation today. Why? Because when I ask generally to a child nowadays that what are your hobbies, what do you do otherwise, they have no answer. They actually do not do anything. And unfortunately, when we ask the parent, what is your hobby? They say, I used to play guitar. I used to play badminton. I used to go for, Zumba classes. So for few, it has become a past tense. For few, it has never started. It was never executed rather. And for few, it is never introduced as a very important part of their living. Because when we say that life goes on and life goes on with your work and your family, it also goes on only because we have certain interest which motivates us to live life smoothly. It also goes on because we have certain hobbies which distracts or takes us away from the daily hazards, daily stress we go through. So it's very important that we allow them to pursue something which is a hobby, which could be anything, which could be also helping you all in your household, maybe which could be cooking, which could be singing, which could be reading a book. But please, please, please encourage your children to pursue some kind of habit, because those are something which is going to take them a long way, which is going to add life to their colors to their life, and which is going to help them understand that, life is all about making it, creating a better balance. So your professionalism, your professional life, your academics, your relationship, all taken together, the cream on the cake would be if you are pursuing, or if you have some beautiful habits, some beautiful hobbies, which makes you feel happy, which brings a smile on your face. That is something which we need to do. When I say that a child should get into a hobby, be very careful that they're not multitasking. I am also seeing children who are in lower classes. I'm in class 2, 3, 4. They have a full timetable. They go to the school, they come back. Then they go to the yoga classes. Then they come back. Then they go to the tuitions. Then they come back. Then they join the violin classes. Then they come back. Then they have the dinner. Then they sit for revisions. On Saturday, Sunday, they go for swimming classes, they come back, they go for drawing classes, they come back, they go for elocution training, they come back. Our human brain is active, but at the same time, if it is given multiple tasks to attend to at one go, it will fail. It will fail to concentrate. It will have difficulty to focus. It will finally become, or it will ultimately become, more confused. So many activities taken together is of no help. So we also have to make sure that we prioritize, we give them something which is important. Like, for example, if you are going through, or if you are having headache, you would actually take one medication for that instead of taking multiple of it. So these kind of extracurricular activities, these kind of hobbies, or these kind of, the things which can connect or engage your child should be planned very well. Engagement should not become overburdening to your child. Engagement should not become over stressful for child. If that happens, then your child is eventually going to lose interest on it. Then if the child starts losing interest on it, he or she will start skipping the classes or not attending them, and then eventually become defensive by saying that is not very interesting, so I would not like to do. So ultimately, the child would actually stop trying new things in his or her life. So it's very important that we plan well in advance what are the things a child would do. So, and that is only possible when you get to sit with your child, understand what he is liking, what he is not liking, understand how many things he can attend to at one point of time. For an example, children who are poor in maths or cannot cope up with the arithmetical problems well, we always tell them that they should go for mental maths, they should do small calculations for the household, they should keep a tab on the calendar, make them more familiar with the numbers in a playway method. Similarly, people who are poor in spelling, we tell them that give them fill in the blanks, give them Scrabble, play with them, word game, 3 letters, 5 letters, 6 letters, so that they are more familiar with something which they are weak in, and they would do better. So this is something which we can do if we have to help them with developing some kind of a hobby. Okay. This is the most important part. In one of the books a few years back, I read there was a statement which said that teach your child to finish the run, then becoming first. So coming first is not important. Finishing what you have started is something which is important. So now, what I meant when I say that, if I always give this example. If somebody is doing well, I met few days back, they said that, Madam, my daughter is an excellent child. She is a performer. Her IQ is very high and she does really well. Now the thing is, I actually ask that parent that, do you know the secret of being the champion or coming first in the school? The secret is, it is a mixture of everybody's effort. So if your child is not performing well, or overemphasizing more on the results, you have to also think what makes or what contributes to a better result or better performance. Number one, there has to be a wonderful environment. Number two, definitely the IQ of the child. Number three, I think there is someone who's actually putting a pencil on the screen. It's not happening from our end.
Okay.
I think there is a child probably who's seeing this.
Ma'am, I think it's from the screen is being shared on your end, so it is on like your end it's happening.
No, but I cannot do anything about it.
No, because
I'll
the
just do it
screen,
once again.
that is being shared is from your side actually, ma'am. I think there's some technical glitch maybe or something,
I'll just check.
Yeah. Or you can, ma'am, just restart this, presentation. That would also do.
Not even touching it.
Okay.
The screen mein hai.
I think it's some technical glitch that we are facing. Yeah, ma'am. Now the screen is perfectly visible, ma'am.
Okay. So what I was saying is overemphasizing on the results. I think it's high time that we speak about results. I mean, why are we fixed with the certificates we get? Why are we fixed with the numbers we get? What is more important is your child has given efforts. Because trust me, we are seeing more and more children coming to our clinics with performance anxiety. Their IQ is probably above the range. Their level of confidence is definitely something which is commendable. But where they fail is through their performance. So it's very important that we should praise the efforts, appreciate the child's hard work, the efforts they put while preparing, not on the results which comes out on different aspects of life. I mean, you never know how was the day when the examiner was checking the paper. You never know how much the child could write with the limited period of time. You never know what happened when the papers were collected and finally gone to an external person as an examiner. So it's very important that we focus more majorly on the ability to work hard, to start believing in himself or herself, to develop a routine which will only take them further to the next level or the next step in the ladder. But if we start, putting pressure and putting stress on the perfection all the time, then they would always want to finish things without even putting the amount of efforts which it desired. So learning is more important than getting the certificate on it. What is the point in getting 100%? However, when it comes to hard work, you're failing. You believe that, one certificate can rule my life. Then what about the levels and levels and levels you're going to see in your life as you grow older? So those things are very, very important. People ask, what is the definition of intelligence? My child should get some 99%, 100%? I don't think so. Intelligence will be all about, or is all about, how much you know about the world. Because when we talk about these certificates or the performance, most of the time it is measured through that particular day when you are in the examination hall present. It is not about the whole life, the year which you have learned. And by choice and by nature, there would be some people, or there are some children who are very good with their performance IQ, and there are few who are very good with their verbal IQ. Ask them anything, they will answer. Ask them to write anything, they would not write. So there are always limitations involved when we start assessing somebody's level of achievement. There are always limitations when we compare one person to another. So it's very important that we emphasize on the hard work. We teach them to develop a routine, a schedule with consistency. We teach them the secret that we don't study because we have to get greater percentage. We study because we need to know the world in a different manner. Books, school, educational institutes are basically the sources which helps you understand the world with a particular definition. Once you learn the definition well, it is we ourselves who can understand the world by exploring it more and more and more. Using of positive reinforcement, I think in our last webinar also I spoke about the positive reinforcements. When I say that it is important, I don't think we need to find an occasion to praise your child. There should be no reason to praise your child sometimes as well. If a child is a non-performer academically, however, the child is an excellent worker at home, is absolutely empathetic towards people who are needy, is an excellent communicator with the parent, and is always there when somebody calls. I think that itself is a huge, huge content for a child to be appreciated. And again, when we talk about reinforcement, it should not only be restricted to the child. Please remember, encouraging each other, appreciating each other's work, being with each other, validating each other's work is very important. I personally believe that what we are today is definitely a contribution of a family member, our educators, our mentors, our guides, our children as well. They all contribute to what we are today. So I think appreciating that is the most important thing which we need to do. Also at the same time, don't teach them or don't appreciate them when they are wrong. That also does not mean that stand on that particular point and teach them right away. Sometimes keeping a little bit of patience, understanding the situation well, showing the possible solutions to a problem will help your child, will make your child decision more structured, more intelligent, and more doable. So it's very important when you are validating with its negatives, validate with its positive as well. So the child knows that, every time I'm praised or I've been praised, it's because I did something good. And every time there is a talk or there were discussions in my family, there is something I need to learn. If I'm going wrong or if I'm doing something different, there is no definition to right and wrong in our life. But yes, there are ways which can improve the way we perform. So that should always be communicated when we talk about seeing something which is not appropriate. This is the most important slide of our presentation today, that teach optimism. I think optimism is something which comes naturally to us, isn't it? When I say in this wonderful slide, I have taken some quotes which I have taken it from one of the literature I read long back. Kids who are taught how to think and interpret the world optimistically are half as prone to depression when they later go through puberty. When comparing optimist or pessimist, it was found that optimists are more successful at school, work, and athletics, are healthier, live longer, end up more satisfied with their marriages, and are less likely to deal with depression and anxiety. What it is all about. Teaching optimism is basically teaching your children preparedness. One day, there's one college student who came to me and said that, why is my life so difficult? Why it is becoming so difficult for me to handle it? Trust me, I told that it would happen if this would have been easier. Would you ever talk about it? If this would have been simpler, would you ever talk about it? If this would have been the way you wanted, would you ever learn to explore? So don't you think when we do something new, there would be difficulties which will come our way, number one. There would be possibilities of failing as well. And at the same time, there would be time where you will feel that you are not doing everything right. Everything is going just haywire. So teach them the realities of life. Prepare them with both positives and negatives angles. And also teach them when it comes to a darker phase of life, what might affect them the most. That is the time when they need your wishes. That is the time when they need your support. That is the time when they need companions in their life. It is very, very important that all our good wishes are encashed on the day of my failure, not on the day of my birthday. So teach them the lessons of life which belong to the darker side of ours. And that is the time when a person stop believing in himself. And that is the time when they have to be optimistic. They have to think positive. They have to think, this will pass and I will learn something from it. A classic example of this is when the whole world was struggling with COVID and the whole world was going through a lockdown, a pandemic. There were people who became excellent cooks, who became excellent writers, who got chance to speak to their children, who've learned different languages online. Few of them become masters in mental maths. Few of them become more patient. They've become conscious about their lifestyle, their health regime and everything. So if there is a negative corner of life, please remember there are certain elements which are instilled in that, which are positive, definitely. If COVID gave us a lockdown, it also taught us to be with family. With COVID gave us to work from home, it also helped us see what my wife is doing when she is at home alone, how much she takes care of the house, how difficult it is to manage the household. So if there is one side which may bring you little bit of negativity, there would be definitely another side just close to that, which will show you some positive angles, some positive aspects of life. Teach emotional intelligence. What is EQ? EQ is nothing but to understand that you have emotions. Please, 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 it is my request. Identify your child's emotion well. If you see your child is not talking much, if you see your child is upset for something, acknowledge that. Acknowledge that you understand there is something which is bothering your child. Acknowledge that you are there if he or she requires any help. Also acknowledge that It is okay to feel sad sometimes, but it is situational, it is temporary, and it is going to go. So if you teach them emotionality, if you teach them that it is okay to have different traits and emotions, children would understand that. Fewer times you must have heard your child saying, "Janina ki hoche, I don't know what is happening to me. Pata nahi humse kisi se baat nahi karna hai." It is very important that you acknowledge your child is not feeling okay. And in a better time, when your child is more reciprocating, more patient to listen, you may speak about these emotions which are also part of our life. It is okay not to be okay sometimes. It is okay to cry when you feel like crying. It is okay to be angry when something upsets you. But at the same time, it is important to represent the anger in such a way that your emotions inside that which troubles you or which has been troubling you comes out well. So emotional intelligence is a very important aspect of our life, which can help our children understand situation in a different way, not become robotic, not become mechanical. To become emotional is to become human. And to understand emotion is actually developing relationship, is actually getting connected, is actually creating a family. This is my last slide. And if we have any questions, I can see there are a few chats in the chat box.
I think like you can complete your insights, and then we can go about with the questions. Also, I have a question that I will be
Yes,
asking you.
please go ahead. Please go ahead.
No, ma'am. Once you are done with your session, after that.
This is my last slide. I just finished it.
Okay, so ma'am, before the I would request the parents who have the questions to put it in the chat box, so Osmananika ma'am can reply to the questions. Ma'am, one thing that I would like to ask you, since the initial slides of yours consisted of on insights on relationship building with the child. So we sometimes see that like you said, that parents say don't talk to a stranger, and then they expect children will be talking to unknown people. So we have seen sometimes when very young children, toddlers, they come for admissions purpose to our school. They are they are jolly, they are laughing, but sometimes they are very afraid to talk to the teachers or talk to others. So is it also because of the same thing, that don't talk to the stranger things? And if it is there, then how parents can mend this thing, because like that thing is already in the children, that don't talk to strangers. So how can they mend this thing?
See, I think we have to redefine who is a stranger to us.
Mm-hmm.
Because not everybody is a stranger to us. A teacher is a teacher. So when I say about building up a relationship, we have to understand what kind of a relationship I want to build with my child. Am I going to be a mother? Am I going to be a friend? Am I going to be a teacher? Am I going to be a mentor? Sometimes, which I have seen in the interviews, when the children do not talk to even to the teachers, is all because the practice they get a night before the interview. That you have to speak well. So there is a lot of training which we provide, or we prepare our children in a different manner, so they become absolutely conscious when they have to talk. So I think projection of the relationship, or the projection of the situation, is very important. I think I would always give a free hand to a child to talk, but at the same time I would teach the child the signals which needs to be avoided. Talking to a stranger, then who is a stranger? Your teacher is not your stranger. Your doctor is not your stranger. People staying next to you are your neighbors. They're not your strangers. Yes, somebody standing on the street, just like that, is a stranger. Your milkman is not a stranger, but at the same time, am I going to chit chat with my milkman? No. Am I going to wish? Yes, I can wish, but that is limited to that end only. So at the same time, teacher is not a stranger. Teacher is somebody who's going to be your mentor, your guide, your companion throughout your school life. So I think introduction of the person who's going to meet your child is very important. I have myself seen many children coming to the clinic with an impression that auntie injection laga degi. Or auntie is going to keep me in the school, in the hospital. Or she's going to hypnotize me. So these are certain preludes, certain information which needs to be, clearly spoken to a child. Many of the children I have seen, they come to the clinic without even knowing why they are here. Which shows there was lack of discussion at home, which shows the child was not given even enough opportunity to project what he or she feels about the problem, which shows probably there was no more trials taken by the parent for solving the issue. Those things are very important.
True. So, ma'am, we have two more questions from the parents. One is from Shayani Goswami. She writes that if any child is hurting my child repeatedly, but my child wants to be friends with that other child, instead of how to manage this situation? Like some other child is hurting her child, but her child wants to be friend with that other child. So how to manage this situation?
Friendship is always double-sided, isn't it? It has to be mutual. Then only we are friends. There is a possibility I want to be a friend to somebody and that somebody does not want to be a friend to me. So what I expect from this relationship? Do I think that every relationship will be reciprocated all the time? We all love God. Do we know God loves us? We all probably love of cinema star. Do we know that cinema star know us or not even? Loving somebody or being with somebody is a wonderful feeling which your child should have. But at the same time, you have to make your child understand that a relationship is only built up with three aspects. It's a triangle. One is you. Second one is the person you want to be in a relationship with. Third one is the environment. At this point of time, it is only 30%, that means you, who wants to be close to this person. But other 60% is affected because the other person is not wanting. That does not mean that you stop loving that person. But yes, it also means that at this point of time, this person is not able to reciprocate to the beautiful emotion you have for him or her. So I think we have to wait. Do not stop loving that person, but at the same time, allow that person to acknowledge the importance you have, or the acknowledge your love or the affection you have for him or her.
Right. It needs to be dealt with patience actually and time. And with that only we will get the answer. Okay.
Otherwise, probably there could be a lot of reasons why a person is hurting you. Maybe he or she is not interested. Maybe he or she is not acknowledging the kind of emotions you have. Maybe he or she has a very bad experience or very, very bad past. That's the reason she or he is now hesitant or restricting. Possible.
So basically, we have to understand the situation and deal with patience and give time for that relationship to, come to a proper place. So, ma'am, we have two more questions. The first one is from one of the parents who have, asked. Of course, we know that for the last 2 years, due to the ongoing pandemic, there was a lot of restriction on the children, particularly moving out of the house, and this has created a lot of like a psychological impact on the children as well. So which we also see that children are often, they don't want to speak, they are not jolly, they get very scared when they are taken out of home to some place. So how to cope up with this thing, how to get children back to the normal life again in this way?
I will tell you a very silly example for this. I think we all are quite aware of Uche or Corolla, right? Which is bitter gourd. What happens when you suddenly take a bitter gourd, or you're having a wonderful, tasty meal and suddenly you take a chili? খুব ঝাল লেগেছে, কি করবো, right?
Yes.
And then what happens? Your mother gives you sugar, your mother gives you honey, your mother gives you a cake, a pastry. There was a pandemic which affected all of us. It is important now we reintroduce the world to our children in a wonderful manner. This pressure has been created not only by the pandemic itself, it was also created by we the people. So we have to now slowly talk to them about that, how to deal with it, in the sense it is gone long back. How it is gone? Because we have learned to cope up with it. COVID may affect, but it is not going to affect who are conscious. Things have gone from offline to online. Now it is important to go offline as well. Accompany your child to all those places where he or she is feeling pressurized. If the child is not socializing much, make small trips, visit places, or talk to your child about the fear first. What is he fearing about? Is it related to health? Is it related to coping up with the new segment of life? But what has changed? I think we have just come back from a different planet and we have entered our old planet only. Everything we had is now intact. So there is nothing to worry. And if there are psychological pressure, it's important for a parent first to sit with the child and understand what are the problems. Is it the fear of performance? Is it the fear of mingling with people? What is the fear in mingling with people? People will reject, people will love, somebody will not be able to talk. What it is? I think particularly for this question, it is very important, if your child is going through that, sit with your child and talk to her or him first. Understand, because now there is no restriction. Only thing is, whatever fear and whatever anxiety we see now is all from the back, taken from the past. So that we have to talk, or we have to definitely sit with the child one-on-one and talk.
Exactly. Because we as parents, we would need to understand like what the child is experiencing in his or her mind. So ma'am, we have like got 3 more questions, but I will just wrap them together because I know the time is also limited. So one of the parents have asked that her daughter is 3 years and she does funny things, as young kids generally do, and she as a mother encourages, but sometimes what happens is there are other peoples in family who provide restriction and say don't encourage that, this might harm her or something like that. So how to what is the correct way that she can choose? Like, should she continue to encourage her child in doing this in order to develop, or should she listen to her family members? So this is one question that one of the parents have, and the other questions are a bit of like they're similar. So the parents have asked that one has asked that her child gets angry very soon, so how to deal with that thing. And the last question is that how to handle the fear of studies, or how to handle this too much not the child not wanting to study, basically going
there is a saying, whatever you fear, you do it more. Practice takes away your fear. There was one time when I was fearful about the dark rooms. I started opening the door, took my first step. My father was holding my hand. When I took my second step, my father said that I am there, you don't worry. When I took the third step, I could know that this room is just black in color. There was no dark room in my life anymore. So it's important, if you think your child is fearful about studies, sit with his studies once. See, where is the fear? Is he not able to write? Is he not able to understand? Is he not able to finish on time? Where is the fear? Because studies has listening ability, writing ability, understanding ability, reciprocating ability, so many things taken together. So it cannot be all together, but it has to be something which is bothering. So if your child is slow in writing and that's the reason he's fearing, then you have to practice more of writing in a playway method again. If your child is feeling that my Child is only fearing the performance, then don't worry. Just teach him what hard work is all about. Performance has to follow, and certificates has to follow if you are a hard worker. It may not be today, but it will be tomorrow and in future. So this study thing, I think the best answer would be sitting with the child and understanding where is the problem. I have seen many children who are who are very, very worried about their studies, but we eventually found that, they had only problems while writing. The hand used to pain. There were many children who were very good at reading, but at the same time, while writing, they had problems. Many children who did not understand the content, so did not perform. So we simplified the method for them. Many children who could not divide the segment in a proper way. There were poor time management. So that's why they were avoiding studies. Many children who were pressurized to perform better. So they thought, no, humse nahi hoga. Many children were discouraged. So they kichua bena, kichua bena, kichua bena. Tu to kichui korchish na. Hearing this also has created a fear in them, and they just stopped even attempting for a better result. So this thing needs more of, I think we need to go more further about it. Where is the fear? There is all possibility that child sitting next to me is bullying me. And that's the reason I do not want to study. There's all possibility. About the girl who's doing weird things, I really want to know what is the definition of a weird things. A 3-year-old will do beautiful things, and which can be a treasure of her life. At the same time, when I say it's a weird thing, what kind of a thing? Is she playing with fire? Do not encourage. Is she playing with a Barbie doll? Please encourage. She is talking. Very good. If she's talking and not eating, very bad. You have to relate the kind of activities she does along with the consequences it gives you. She's doing weird things. She's taking your all your nail polish and putting it in water. No. You will also have to see behaviors which are appreciated and approved by the society. Because even if we say we are individuals, definitely we are the people who also belong to the society, and we require the approval of the society. So we have to segregate which one to encourage and which one not to. She is going and breaking some valuable things. Like I used to do as a child, I used to never understand what is expensive, not expensive. I used to go break those and make khichdi out of that. I used to play ghar ghar as a child. But then if I have to play ghar ghar, there has to be things which is appropriate for ghar ghar, not the expensive cosmetics of my mother. So, you have to understand what to encourage and what to not. I can say there was one child. I would request if you could kindly share my contact details with the parents. Well, I am at Columbia at Manipal Hospital on Mondays and Thursdays, 5 o'clock onwards. My phone number, I can type it here, though it is available on the net as well. And then people can contact me because with appointments, of course, with Manipal. And so, I think that's the easiest way to reach me, because he never does anything destructive, man. That is why I encourage her. Yeah, encourage her. Also at the same time, tell her that not everything I do would be appreciated by others. So there has to be a limitation wherein I have to deal with others. I love to sing in a louder voice, let's say. Singing is not bad at all. But what if I'm singing in a important meeting? So I would suggest Rupanjana ji that whenever your child, I think she's Rupanjana who's writing, that if you think that your child is doing something which is not destructive, very nice, you also have to teach her the situation where she's doing it. Whether the society or the place is going to approve it or not. So as you said, maybe there are a few family members who do not approve of it. So probably she needs to handle that. She needs to, control that as others may not like it. I like it. It is very nice. But when you do it with others, because they are also part of our family, we need to also take care of their expectations and their liking as well. We have to, not every time, not 100%, but then yes, 20% is something which is important maybe. So this way we can restrict certain things. That's all.
So thank you, ma'am, for all the insights and the answers. And as ma'am, like some of the parents were asking, like how they can connect with ma'am. So definitely it is through Manipal Hospitals, which is located in Salt Lake. I think, ma'am, if any of the parents are looking forward to connect with you, they can go over the net and go through the website of the hospital and connect with you, right?
Yes.
Of course. So any of the parents who are looking forward to connect with ma'am, they can just go onto the net, search for Manipal Hospital Salt Lake, and connect with Smaranika Tripathi. So
And I have also shared my phone number
Yes, ma'am.
to everyone. So once they can introduce themselves as a parent of the school, and then I will definitely get back to them.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much to our speaker today, Smaranika Tripathi, and thank you to all the parents who have been with us. So here we end this session of today's from Adamas Schools, Adamas International and Adamas World School. Thank you very much for joining. Thank you and have a wonderful evening ahead. Thank you.